Test. Well. Another Saturday live stream on the road once again. When you see the live stream right now like that, where it's like vertical, and I got my phone and I'm not in my office, it means I'm somewhere else than my home, and I'm still doing it. So this is why maybe the quality is not as good. Maybe this is why the sound's not as good. But most important thing is that I'm here. You're here. That's the most important. Let's get this properly. There we go. All right. Well, I wish I had another phone to look stuff up, but oh, Theodore Georgiotis. Hello. Jeff 222. Hello. Awesome. You do this. Yeah, I've been doing this for a few weeks now. I missed last week, though. I missed it sometimes, but good day, Jesse Brown. So today I don't have my computer, right? So I don't have any text to put up on the screen. I don't have any of that stuff, but you guys are here. So if you have any questions regarding addiction and recovery, if you're going through something, we can bounce back ideas, support each other back and forth. So let me know how you guys feel. So how are you feeling there? Chris says, "Hey brother, are you still competing?" Yeah, I'm not competing this year, but I'll be back. But this live stream is not about that. It's about addiction, recovery, support. So if you guys need help with that, don't hesitate. But yeah, I'm not done competing. I'll be back. Chris Gutierrez, thanks for popping in. We're good. Let me show what are these things on the side here. What is that? Whoops. 40 okay, never mind. Good. I have seen some people cleaning up their act. Maybe my thoughts to them are becoming somewhat infectious. That's good. Yeah, sometimes like people say like attraction, not promotion. So let's say if you're trying to like change people for the better and tell them not to use drugs, it's not going to work. But if yourself you are doing so well by doing that, people are going to be like, hey, maybe I should be doing the same thing as him because he seems to have good results and feeling good, right? So you actually start influencing people, leading by example. So that's good. Cody Otaku, I am doing good. I was just had a big family reunion on my wife's side, hanging out. There was beer around and stuff, but I'm not triggered at all by beer, honestly. I never understood beer. It's like it's this foamy thing that kind of like tastes like malt, but the volume because for me as an addict I wanted to like feel something right away, and then with beer I find that I was drinking lots of beer to try to get an effect, but then I would get bloated first before feeling drunk. So I was like, this is not very effective. So I moved on to stronger stuff, sadly. But yeah, so yeah, beer around today, no problem though. It was easy to stay away from. Chris Gutierrez is saying, I struggled with what would be referred as a sexual porn addiction. It was ruining my marriage. I've been going to psychotherapy for over a year. Now it changed my life. I am the best version of myself every day because of the changes I have made. Well, congrats on that. Yeah, it's not easy because every human has feelings and needs and stuff, and sometimes it gets confusing. Some of them can become an addiction, right? Like, same thing with food. I think like sexual and porn addiction is similar to food because we kind of need it. We need both of these things, but we can also really create a lot of suffering with ourselves with both of these things also. So, what did you learn in psychotherapy? Anything that in particular that helped you out? I know there's 12 steps for like sex addicts. I've actually tried SLAW. It was called SLAW, Sex Love Anonymous or something. Uh, and then people started talking and stuff. I couldn't really relate with them because me when I'm clean, I don't have the same obsession as when I'm using. So I didn't relate with these guys anymore, but I saw that it was helping a lot of people. I did do two slaw meetings. Some girl left when I was telling a story. She got triggered or something, and she left. It was like a Zoom meeting in the rehab. Yeah, what changes did you make, Chris? Hey, Batman. Hello. When are you gonna come save our city, Batman? I think a lot of guys are suffering from porn addiction. Honestly, I know. Larry Wheels was went public with his own addiction. He was addicted to like webcams, so girls, like cam girls. So I'm assuming I didn't really look into it, but I'm assuming he would go on the webcam websites. He would find a girl, and then he would tip the girl to do certain things, and the girl was maybe teasing her, maybe like even developing a relationship with him, and he would spend a lot of money on it. And and of course he had a girlfriend during that time, so I'm sure it was challenging to the relationship, like you, Chris. But he came clean with it, and he seems like he's doing better. But it must be weird, like, because let's say, because the thing with porn is that you will get like a dopamine hit and get like excited and obsessed and stuff. And I know like a lot of people like they just open up the tabs and then they do another tab. I'll save that. Let's save that. So there's like all these tabs open to find the right video. It's never enough. So I'm sure a lot of you guys do that too. I mean, I've done that, honestly. I try not to anymore, honestly. And I don't really have time, honestly, to do that stuff. But yeah, it's anything that you do that you just say, I'll just watch it. For example, I'll just watch a little bit. And then you end up spending more time than you think so. And then you watch some weird shit or whatever it is. And then you feel guilty after. So you're doing something out of your control that you feel guilty after. It's like binging on food. You're gonna binge on food, feel guilty after. You're gonna do drugs, do stupid shit. Then you'll feel guilty and ashamed after. It's all the same thing. Addiction is all the same thing. Is you do something that you think you can control, you can't control it. You end up guilty and ashamed with bad consequences. You're ruining relationships around you. So whatever it is the thing you're addicted to, it will ruin your life. It's just for some people, it's porn and sex. Some people it's food. Some people it's drugs. Like for me, that's what it was. So Chris is saying here, a few of the steps for me were only focus on the now. The past and future, they don't exist. Just focus on being your best every morning, journaling, visualization, gratifications, daily plans. So the now thing, somebody asked me in a story, like, what's the best advice you ever received? And it's the advice that I got from the book, The Power of Now. And I understood before, like, oh, be in the present. Yeah, okay. Where else am I going to be? Like, but when I read the book for real, and I really understood what Eckhart Tolle was saying, like you said, like the past is you played in your head, right? So if it's in your head, it's not real. The only thing that's real is like what's going on right now in the room where you're at, right? The things you could perceive with your five senses. If you could perceive things properly, some people can't, right? They're just sick like that. That's not their fault. And then also the future. Where does the future happen? The future also happens in your head. So both the future and the past, you're making it in your head. Even if one happened for real, the past, and the other one didn't happen yet, they're both happening in your head. They're both not real. The only thing that's real is the things you can like touch, hear, taste, taste, smell, see, look. These are the things that are real right now in the room. So if you're really in the now, you really focus on just the things right now you can perceive with your senses. And some people they even reduce to the least amount of senses possible. That's why people meditate, they have their eyes closed, they just focus on the breathing, focus on one thing, right? So it's a really good tip to be on the now. If you because in the now, honestly, most of the time there's no suffering. If you can forget your head and really go in the room right now and really be in the present moment, there is no suffering. This is where peace and serenity is. It's just that we can get there sometimes in a flow state. People go in a flow state, they play video game, whatever they're in, and now they just do martial arts, they spar, they do weight train, they get into the now in the flow state. And why does it feel so good? It's because we're not in our head. We are not in the past. We're not in the future. We're in the present moment. This is why it feels so good to be in a flow state because we're actually in the now. So if you can find activities, cardio, whatever it is for you to help you be in the now, like that, it's like moving meditation. So I really recommend it. So Chris, that was a great advice, and the rest of the stuff is like therapy stuff. So journaling, all that stuff, very good too. Jesse is saying, yeah, it was funny, yes, but making I'm speaking for myself, but I'm very monogamous. Yeah, yeah, monogamous is the way more simple. You just gotta find the right person. Christian Saint Pierre, Antoine, I saw you once at Beach Club in Quebec. You were so nice and talked to me for a couple minutes. I had been watching your content for a while. Thank you, brother. Hey, nice to see you, man. Christian Saint Pierre. Beach Club, that was a long time ago. I was probably like under the influence, but I'm glad I made a good impression anyway. Adventure of Soup Soup Poulet is saying, Antoine, you were such a huge influence in my gym journey. Content was the peak of gym YouTube. Thank you, man. Victor, what's up? Chris, exactly that and one of the things that helped repair my marriage is realizing that I cannot make other people feel or do things. I can only create an environment where she can choose to be happy. Yeah, that's right. It's like when people that date someone, oh, I can change him. No, you can't. Honestly, when people like when I was in active addiction, the only person that could make me change my mind was myself. Nobody could force me to do anything. Even if the thing was destroying my life, I was like, let me destroy my fucking life. Who cares? But a lot of people cared, but it was like me, right? So this applies to. I know that I cannot change how people are. So with my wife, I let her be how she is, and they would just never fight. Sometimes we just would. I mean, there's things we got to talk about and stuff, but when you try to change the people you're around, it's like you're trying to change something you can't control. And this is part of the serenity prayer in the 12 steps. Like, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, or the people. The courage to change the things I can. You can only change yourself, the way you see things and your efforts. And then the wisdom to know the difference. So that's another good thing. Another good tip, Chris. High adventure. Palazzo Masters, love you, bro. Thank you, bro. Jeff, do you think Michael Hearn's a little chance is natural? Maybe. Who knows? Chris Gutierrez, you and Theo Vaughn both speak about recovery from addiction in an easy to digest lingo. Yeah, dude, I'm so happy Theo Vaughn is in recovery. I'm like for example, like right now, I'm speaking about recovery, and I'm on the other side of the screen, and people watch my videos for a little while, so it's pretty cool. I know it's cool for you guys to see me talk about recovery because I know when I see another person talk about recovery online that has some following, whatever, makes me happy. I'm like, yes, another one, another fucked up addict like me, in recovery, right? Because we're all the same people, honestly. So yeah, thanks, my pleasure. Part of the my recovery program is to spread the message, so that's what I'm doing now, giving back. No man is saying, I can't seem to tap into the flow state. It feels like forever now. Everything seems off. Any advice? Well, you need to find like an activity. Is there any activities or hobbies you can do where you kind of like forget about your life and you just focus on the task? Gotta find one of those. Oh, my sponsor just messaged me. That's funny. My sponsor in NA, one of my friends. Christiana says, Antoine, did you watch the Dilbert Misfits where they were active? Yeah, I was talking to like Big Lenny sometimes. Um, Chris says, either way, good to see you, brother. Best to you and the family. Good night. Good night to you also, man. Thanks for the message. Jolo, how to resist the urge to go one more day before quit. Oh man. How to resist the urge to go one more day before quitting. Listen, I never really got. I never was successful at that. The only way that I was able to stop, honestly, like, was to hit like rock bottoms where like I did not want to do another day. You know what I mean? Like the last big one I had. I mean, I told my friends, went to their place, and I said, "Yeah, I fucked up, this and that." I called the rehab, and then I left some drugs at home, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go home and pack now." And in my head, I'm like, "I'm gonna do the rest of the shit I have," and maybe I would have not even went to the rehab. But then my friend's ex-wife put her foot in front of me in front of the door and said, "No, you're not going anywhere." And then I was like, "Shit." It's either I pushed this woman out of my way physically to do the rest of the drug I had, which is like was nothing less almost, or I just surrender now, give up, and accept my fate that I'm stopping now. And I chose that. I didn't. I could not push her out of the way physically. So that was. But I was going to do more. You know what I mean? It's like there had to be bad consequences, and I was such in a bad spot where I had like, am I really going to push, get physical? One of my friends to do like this thing. So no. Another one is that I got in a fight, and then I was bleeding, and I had to go to the hospital. So I could not keep partying. So I called my mom. I mean, I called a girl. She drove me to my mom. My mom brought me to the hospital, and then I was like all busted up, full of like I still have lumps here, a little bit scar. Where's the scar? I think it's here. See that scar here? So I had to go to the hospital because I might have like some brain damage or whatever, like or internal bleeding in my head. So yeah, I'm gonna risk it. So like I wanted to keep going, but I was so low that I couldn't. And there was a lot of times where I felt so bad that I didn't want to either. So honestly, like that part was really hard because I told myself many, many times where it's like, oh, I'll just stop tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come and I'll be like, oh, I'll just stop next weekend. You know, I'm with this girl now, we get some drugs and I found money. We gotta keep going. So for me, that was like stopping is the hardest part. Like if I'm clean right now, not doing drugs, that's not really hard for me right now. If I would start doing drugs, stopping the drugs is like a million times harder than not doing it in the first place. So for me, it's like as long as I don't start, I have like a big head start on recovery, right? So Jolo, honestly, like, so the tip I can give you is that you need to talk to somebody, like you're talking to me right now, right? But you need to talk to people that know you and care about you, and be like, hey, I feel like doing it one more day, or you kind of like what if you're feeling a little bit of hope and good, you gotta kind of like tell on yourself to other people. So even if you would want to keep going, you can't really. You're in a spot where everybody knows, and you can't really do it. So you need like outside support. Because for me, by myself with my own head, I could not stop. I could not say I'll stop now and not tomorrow. I could not do it. That's why I was an addict, right? So I don't know if that answers your question, Joel, but it was hard for me. So are you in a spot right now where you're like you're using, but you want to stop, but you want to stop tomorrow? Because if you always say tomorrow, tomorrow will never come because you're always today. Even tomorrow, once tomorrow comes, tomorrow will become your today, and then tomorrow will become something not real in the future. So you'll just never stop. Anyways, uh, now, backyard days with flips, GG, thanks, yeah. Yeah, the one more is a trap door. Yeah, you know what they say in the meetings? Like, one is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. Um, boing, boing. What's up? Christian, good to see you in a good place. Yeah, I am. These days, my goal is just, of course, staying clean and recovery every day. That's my number one goal all the time. And after that, um, everything falls into place. Right now, I was being there for my wife and my son, and just there's some new opportunities, preparing for that. Trying to get in shape. My pleasure, Jolo. Hope it helps a little bit. But like I said, I was like too weak to just stop by myself. You know, I need to be in rehab, a closed rehab, 24/7. And once the obsession was gone, I needed to keep it gone by doing meetings like as often as I could. And I did the 90 meetings in 90 days after my last rehab. So the day I finished my rehab, I was out of the rehab in the morning. I was home in the afternoon. In the evening, right away, I went to a meeting, like a 12-step meeting. Right away, I went there. And then I did 90 meetings in a total of 90 days after my rehab. And then I did 3 meetings a week. So those are NA meetings. They're everywhere, Jolo. So you could actually go on Google right now. I don't know where you're from. Let's say if you're from Jersey or something, or you're from Brooklyn, New York. You type Brooklyn, New York, NA meetings, schedule, whatever, and they're all there. It's all free. So hope that helps. The benefit of community is everyone has something in common here, and you're not as uniquely messed up. Yeah, being a terminally sick is no. What's the terminally different? There's a saying that says like we think we're like so different, and because we're so different, we think there's no solution for us, but we're all the same. We're all the same, man. So with these 12-step meetings, and even like right now, us sharing about stuff, we're all in this together. Like we're helping each other. So we're not alone. Like all the crazy shit of like, oh, I'm gonna stop tonight, and then you flush the drug in the toilet, and then you go to bed. You go to bed, whatever, and then you're motivated that you're stopping drugs, and the next day you wake up feeling like shit, and then you buy some more. I've done that like 100 times. Like feeling stupid every time. Like why did I throw the drugs away? I was going to start anyway, right? So I've done that so many times. That's just the obsession. You're crazy, right? So yeah, I'm not any different than all the addicts struggling. You know, I just got honest, was willing, and was open minded enough to start recovery. Um, Jordan says, Christian says, yeah, I talked to Callum. Yeah, I always offered him my help, but he knows my help is there if he needs it. Congrats on the baby. Doing well. I've been following you since the Trick Tutorials days. The pump is a cure. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks for the support. Hayden says Christ faithfully deliver anybody from addiction. Yes, the higher power actually has a big influence in the 12 steps. So some people's higher power is Jesus, and it seems to be for people who really believe in Jesus, it seems to be working really well for them. So I really encourage people to try maybe believing in Jesus and asking Jesus to remove the obsession. It can probably work for them. If you're a Christian, you should be a hardcore Christian and then use Jesus to the best of its ability to try to get clean. Jesse Brown says that sounds very intense, Antoine. I've had a little clammy hands, sweating, post racing, and pupil dilation, etc. Just thinking about using, but I never had to basically restrain myself. Yeah, well, I've had these feelings too, like where I think about doing drugs and then my heart races, and I almost get like the beginning of a high without getting the good effect, and then I just get like anxious, like my body wants it. But now, nowadays, what I do is I notice my first thought that leads there, and then I just recenter myself and not think about the second thought and the third and the fourth and then I glorifying drug use, and then I will be obsessed too because I know I'm not going to do drugs today, right? So why would I make myself feel bad by wanting some drugs by thinking about it if I know I'm my goal is not to go is to go to bed clean. So I just first thought comes in, oh yeah, it'll be good to do drugs, whatever. I miss doing drugs. I'm like, oh, then I gotta tell myself, you know what? I'm driving home to my family. I know where this would lead me. Let's just focus on something else. And then what I do sometimes, I call my mom, call somebody, call my mom, and then I don't. I just distract myself from that chain of thought of using drugs, and then start a chain of thought on something else that's more positive. That helps me just to recenter myself. Um, let's see. Kander dropped the like. What's up, Kander? Great Tech says Hi, Antoine. With your experience, if you have too many off days in training and or keeping with calories throughout the day, what do you do to get your back into it? Well, this is a addiction recovery live stream, but what I do is I don't overthink it, man. I just go straight back to it. Whatever. The past is the past. What's done is done. So you got to go back to your plan as soon as possible. Danny M says, how can you differentiate between an addiction and just a bender problem? Like once you start drinking, you'll drink for 4 7 days, but you don't partake in any other favors, but it's hard to stop. Well, there's different type of like alcoholics. There's binge drinkers, and there's people who drink every day. But it's like if both things are ruining your life and your health, it is an addiction. Some people will like go on for like a month without doing anything, and then they'll go on for 7 straight days and ruin their life in 7 days. Like if you would tell me like, hey, can you? I would give you like a, or if somebody would tell me like, hey, Antoine, the Earth is about to explode unless you ruin your life in 7 days. Can you ruin your life in 7 days? I'm like, yeah, of course. I can ruin my life in 3 days. You know what I mean? If the world is at stake, the fate of the world is at stake, and you gave me one day to ruin my life, I'll ruin my day in one life. I ruin my life in one day. So yeah, you can literally create suffering and ruin your life in 4 or 7 days. So you are definitely an addict if you are going for 7 days straight. So but good job on being sober right now. So now the thing you need to do is not to start the first drink. If you just avoid the first drink, it seems like you can live life for like days on end without drinking. So Danny, you can do it. You gotta focus on that. No drinking for you. No benders. No benders. My benders would last 2 3 months. So just saying. MD saying thanks for keeping us all part of your journey. Really cheering for you throughout your life. Um, Were anabolic reversal do you struggle with? No, because it's like it doesn't give me an instant gratification. You know what I mean? Like I need to feel good. When I was using drugs, I want to feel good like right now. I didn't want to feel good in like after training, after 3 months of like hard work in the gym. That's not that's not the same thing. GI is saying, do you suffer with anxiety, depression when stopping? Yeah, I dealt with all of that, and how I dealt with it is just by the longer I stayed away from drugs, the better I started to feel. And I also had a purpose of going back into working out and all this stuff and taking care of myself, all these goals. So I would set myself goals. I would start training really hard, and then and now I have a life that I don't want to run away from. So maybe a goal is like if you stop doing drugs, stopping doing drugs and being just in recovery for some people it's a miracle. It's good enough, but for me it wasn't good enough. I needed to build a life that I'm happy with, that I don't want to run away from. So the cool thing is that I know that on drugs I can't do that, and as soon as I stop doing drugs, I know I could get there. So at first, yeah, anxiety, depression, the brain chemicals all fucked up anyway. And then I would hate myself from all the bad things I've done on drugs. But then as time go by and you work the program, you start feeling better about yourself. Then you have tools to deal with life on life's terms. And then you can just start building your life to have a good life, you know? And then you won't be depressed anymore. But it just takes a lot of work. And a lot of people, sometimes they just need extra therapy. I did therapy outside of I did 12 steps. I did rehab. But I also did like shrinks. I would talk to shrinks one on one in person, sometimes on Zoom. And I would try to understand why I feel like a certain way, right? So I would do CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I did all that stuff. MD is saying I didn't. He's talking to Danny. I didn't identify addiction for a long time, as I never casually drank. Only binged in fun social settings as I was accepted. Only I realized when I started craving being drunk. Never since. Only I only realized when I started craving being drunk. Never since. Okay. Um, Jesse, I feel like the bending is a tipping point, but I don't have experience that deep. I was scared somewhat straight after 3 days. Yeah, yeah. I was scared sometimes too. It happened. It happened. Tommy says, I hate addiction. I'm just tired of constantly starting over. I get sober for 1+ years and then relapse. Overcoming this spiritual battle isn't easy. Um, 8/17 is my new sobriety date, so that's this month. Hey, good job, man. That's like what 10 days almost. Um, well, everybody that relapses after a year or plus, the thing that I've noticed the most about all of them is that they kind of stop doing the thing that got them clean in the first place. Like, like for example, me, I'm doing meetings every week, right? I'm talking with people in recovery every day, I guess. So if I would stop hanging out with people in recovery and stop going to meetings, my brain would go back to its default settings, and I would probably relapse too, even after 4 years. So, Tommy, what you need to do is look at what happened the 3 months prior to my relapse, because the relapse didn't start the day you drank. The relapse started probably like 3 months ago, before that. So you need to do like, what did I start to do? Did I start to hang out with like the same people as before? Um, before my relapse, did I stop doing meetings or something, or stop doing my recovery, stop doing my therapy 3 months prior, and then then it took 3 months for me to relapse? So you got to look at like what caused your relapse, and sometimes it's not the thing you did the day of. It's like something you got to go back 6 months. Sometimes more than that. So Tommy, maybe you can think about that right now and share with us, or think about it later. But it's food for thought for sure. Um, okay, Danny's talking to MD. Um, and I will try to find stop. I'll start. But what usually happen? Yeah. So if you go to music festivals, vacations, and then you're around drinking and you're out of your routine, out of work and stuff. Okay. Kiss. Kiss. It's okay. Mwah. Love you. Love you. Good night. Yeah. So don't surround yourself in places with people and things that makes you want to do drugs, right? Tommy, Jesse Brown says, good stuff, Tommy. Victor in the gym tells me you can't make it. Christian saying, what's that? Jesse Brown, I mean, it's bad, but can the revisitation or fucking up also yield, Yeah, you're always going to realize something from fucking up, right? It's just you might realize every time something, but it's because you forget you're an addict, then you realize you're an addict again. Why don't you just make yourself realize every day you are one and that you can't do drugs? But everything happens for a reason. But how many realizations do you need for you to get clean? That's a good question, right? It's like me. It took me honestly, it took me the last one was probably not necessary, but I still had it, and now I'm like, I'm for sure I can't. I did 5 rehabs. I mean, you don't have to do five. Natty Gaines is saying I'm 3 days clean from smoking THC or nicotine. I have been a nonstop smoker for over 14 years. Congrats, 3 days. You're gonna have some fucked up dreams as a withdrawal, but yeah, I think you'll start to feel real good in a week or two. So just go day by day, 90 gains, and come back next week, Saturday, 9 p.m., and let us know how the week went. Um, MD is saying to Danny, if that was me, I would never stop. It was years before I had a craving of getting drunk, but I guess it was probably start wanting to go to a party or festival, knowing I would get drunk. Yeah, sometimes you start you start relapsing in your head, and you still go to the thing anyway. Um, Jesse Brown says, Daddy knows profound things. What? Mike Ross, love you, big guy. Inspired me to progress with lifting. Respect. Thanks, Mike. Crimson Diamond, hello there, hard eyes. Hello. Nighty Games. Thank you. My pleasure, man. Keep it up, bro. Um, Christian St. Pierre, how did the addiction affect your workout progress? Did you ever? Yes. As soon as I would start up my vendor, I would just not want to work out. I would not want to work out, and I wouldn't want to sleep either. The last thing I want to do is sleep and work out. The opposite of what I'm doing now. So, yeah, I would lose size. I would lose my physique. But the thing with me is because I had good genetics, I would bounce back pretty quick. But then I would like, oh, I'm good again. I worked hard for 2 weeks. I could probably afford another party, and then I would fuck everything up again. So my parties were never just one day. So it did affect me. You know, I could have probably been a way better bodybuilder if I didn't go through what I went through, but I did. It is what it is. You know, I talk to Mike Johnson sometimes. Um, Hi, Danny. MD has a question here. Do you find your loved ones celebrate your efforts of staying sober? Yes, yes, they do. We all support each other. Do they get anxious about things leading to youth relapse? I mean, everybody that I broke the trust before, it was really hard for them to trust me again. It would took a long time. Like my mom, it took a while. Some of my friends, it took a while. But with luckily with my wife, I never broke her trust. So it's like she trusts me. So that's really cool. Like I don't have to like hide anything. It's like a the freedom of being honest is like one of the gifts of recovery 100%. Like the not having to lie anymore is like such a relief. You don't understand how much lying every day to somebody you're supposed to care about, how bad I felt, you know. So yeah, everybody trusts me now. It's been 4 years, you know, and I've never broke anybody's trust in those 4 years. So now it's good, you know. So it's like trust is like earned, you know what I mean? So now I think I've earned it. So I could lose it with like one mistake, but I'm not gonna do that. That's just crazy. Like, why would I want to ruin everything just for something that would last like just not even a day and fuck everything up? It's like it's not it's not what I want to do anymore. Jesse Brown says, okay, so here is a bodybuilding and rig drug question. I had 19 NORs can deplete the dopamine system. Makes me think that the pathway could entice the use of dopaminergic things. Everybody reacts differently to that. If you feel like certain products and supplements make you feel like you're going to relapse, I would not do those. That's for sure. I would not do those, especially if you're an addict. I would avoid everything that triggers you and makes you want to do drugs. Um, Jolo is saying, what I notice is I have one favorite drug, but once I stop that, I switch to another less harmful one. For example, nicotine, then I quit that, then I go to eating way too much. So annoying. Well, Jolo is just that. If you follow the 12 steps, for example, it gives you a program to deal with life on life's terms. So you probably feel a certain way, and then you kind of want to act out, either by smoking nicotine or eating food, or worse, like relapse and stuff. But the thing is, okay, if your drug of choice is the thing that's ruining your life, and then you're going for nicotine, nicotine is not ruining your life, right? So it's like, as you like learn how to live life on life terms better, you can maybe if you like feel like doing drugs instead you're playing video games for 3 hours, maybe fucking do that. You're not going to ruin your life with video games unless it's like you play all day, you know. So I think it's okay to just switch to something that's like that. Like I know food is like you can kill yourself with food if you get obese or get type 2 diabetes, but the most important thing is like get off the drugs that really kill you. So it's like if you do that, like that's why like in NA, you go in an NA meeting, everybody smokes cigarettes or vapes. We go there, we vape and take nicotine and like drink coffee. It's like but those things don't really count, I guess. No, they just help us like fucking It's the last thing we can have, right? So it's like sometimes a lot of us won't want to give them up. So like even right now, like I stopped vaping, but I got these right now, and I'm weaning off by itself, I guess. But so it's normal to like act like that, but don't do the drug that makes you ruin your life. That's the most important thing today. Avoid it at all costs. Um, Jesse says this is exactly what I thought, and because it was removed, there has been non-issue with regard to relapse. And Jolo says, "Aha, yeah, alcohol addiction. It is right to better start." All right, guys. Well, 40 minutes. I gotta get going, but good, good stream tonight. Sorry, I'm not home with the cool setup there, but I still want to get on and share stuff and hear what you guys have to say. So thanks for tuning in. And next Saturday, I'm pretty sure I'll be home. I'll be home. So 9 p.m. Tune in. We'll talk some more. And I want to hear some of you guys who came here said that 3 days clean. Other people like the date was 17th of August. All you guys come back next week. Have another clean week, and day by day, and let me know how the week went. What was hard? What was easy? What was a struggle? And if you used or not and stuff. Gotta be honest. So thanks for sharing, everyone. And remember, when shit gets hard, just go one day at a time. I gotta go to bed clean and sober. And then if that seems even too hard, just I gotta do another hour, just another hour, and then you go. Even if it's too hard, minute. I want to last this minute. I try to sit on this chair and let time go by, and then you'll get distracted. You'll focus on something else. The craving will go away, and then you'll go to bed clean. You'll wake up clean, and every time you're going to wake up clean when you want to do drugs the day before, you're going to be happy you didn't use 100%. You'll be happy you didn't use. So think about that, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.